Good morning. I am Dave Metzger for Mountainside Outfitters. I want to go over some of our franchising opportunities. We're getting a lot of inquiries about it, but not a lot of people really understand what it is or what it's all about. We realize we have a whole lot of really good things going on, and that we can franchise it out and help a lot of other people with opportunity and grow this really large nationwide. But we figured out that we really have to get it simplified down as absolutely simple as possible in every way. And what we're doing at the Sistersville, West Virginia location just isn't duplicatable enough. It's an incredibly complex machine with a lot of moving parts. It takes a lot of people to run it. We do the deer processing, the taxidermy, the gunsmithing, all that kind of stuff. And we've got a great team and a great family, and we do it very well. But for the average investor or entrepreneur or somebody wanting to add on to their business, it's way too complex of an animal to look at franchising that as a whole. So we started looking at different ways that we could franchise it in a way that would make more sense, universally on a national scale. And the more we look to simplify it and get it down to the nitty gritty that the average person can do, the more it became apparent that a mobile location was going to be the most universal. Now, we are still looking at having options for franchising just the outdoor store and the brand and all that sort of thing, or even the processing or any part of it. But the really exciting part is definitely the mobile location. We're calling it the Build an AR Workshop franchise. And the way that we're doing this to get it as simple as we possibly can. Now, we're still working out a lot of deals with a lot of different companies to get all of this fine-tuned and worked out, but I'm going to give you a really basic idea of it here. We're starting off with a container. Now, we looked at all different options as far as being able to use a semi-trailer or a fifth-wheel trailer, or a lot of different things, multiple trailers tied together. We looked at a lot of different options, but ultimately it came down to we want to get into it as inexpensively as possible, with the options of doing the other one. So you can start with the container, or if you want to jump right into a bigger one, fine, but we wanted to get the best option, the simplest option, down in price as low as we possibly could. So although we will have an option for a big semi-trailer, we'll have the option for multiple big semi-trailers tied together, we'll have the option for fifth wheel trailers. Our main focus is going to be starting out on keeping it simple, which is a container. Now, this is not an everyday normal container. This type of container that we're looking at, we're having it custom built. We're waiting on a few other bids from a few other companies yet, but we're pretty sure of what company we're going to end up going with. We're pretty sure what model we're going to end up going with, and it's going to be custom designed for us, specifically for the Build an AR Workshop, because these things are built overseas. They're all 220 volt. And we get it. We would love to have it American made. We put that out to an awful lot of American companies, but the reality is these people they're just very good at what they do. And we want it to be built by the very best. So the company we are looking at for the actual container is overseas, and what it is it slides out from both sides, kind of like you'd have slide out on like a fifth wheel trailer, like a camping trailer, except the whole thing on both sides, the whole length of it. So it's almost double its size once it's opened up. And these things are just beautiful. And that's part of it. We don't want it to look like a trailer. We want it to look like a really beautiful business. And this will open up and get almost twice its size. And the back of it's solid. We'll have it all wrapped and stickered and graphic, and it's all look beautiful. And the front is all tinted glass, but you can still see through. It's lightly tinted, and it looks just beautiful. And it's got the options with this is instead of doing the trailer, by doing the container instead, we can drop it right on the ground. So the way that it works is it's got a hydraulic jack on each of the four corners, and they tuck away and fold up, but then they come out and they jack themselves up. So it's sitting flat on the ground. It'll jack itself up at, I don't know, 4.5 feet, something like that, plenty high enough. And then you take any old fifth wheel flatbed, any old trucker flatbed, any kind of flatbed, and take it right underneath it, and then the jacks will lower itself back down onto that flatbed, and then you can take it anywhere. This made a lot more sense than the trailers, because we're getting a lot of inquiries from existing gun shops that want to build an AR Workshop location on their property, but they're just going to set it there and they're never going to move it again. So we want it to be easy to move, so we can get it there, easy to move if they change their mind and want to do something with it. But there's no sense in putting a whole lot of money and expenses and everything into building it as a trailer if not every franchisee is going to actually use it as a trailer. So that's another one of the reasons why we're going with the container option as opposed to one that's actually a trailer. So anyways, this thing will jack itself up. You get a flatbed under it, drop it back down, the hydraulic jacks fold themselves up, put themselves away and everything, and you're good to go. Now, again, a lot of potential franchisees are looking at putting it at their existing location. A lot of other ones are wanting to be able to go to big shows like Sturgis, Daytona Bike Week, places like that. And anywhere that you have people with disposable time and disposable income gathering is going to be a great place for this. Gun shows. You can go to gun shows all year long in your own state without ever having to leave the state. And that's going to make things a whole lot simpler with FFLs and that sort of thing. And we'll walk you all through that. It's part of the beautiful thing about working as a franchisee as opposed to starting your own business, is we're figuring all this stuff out for you. We're making this as super simple as we can possibly make it. So you can take this location anywhere. What we're doing, and this is really informal, by the way, I'm jumping all over the place because I'm just kind of doing this, winging this as it comes to mind here. But what we're doing is we're splitting off from the Sistersville location to go start another location in Missouri here. We've already got the location figured out. We've already got the property locked down. We haven't closed on it yet, but we're going to be getting there soon. And that's where we're going to be taking care of the internet sales and all the e-commerce stuff, building packages, flamethrowers, all kinds of cool stuff. But then we're also going to be doing one of these build an AR workshops. The way that we're going to do it is down the road from our shop out on the main drag. We're probably just going to get a tiny piece of property, or maybe even rent a little property or rent a parking lot or something, maybe a billboard there, and just park it out there on weekends that we're not traveling or whatever. And we're just going to run on weekends. During the week, we're going to deal with the online stuff and building packages and stuff. And then on the weekends is when we'll run the Build an AR workshop. So what the Build an AR workshop is simplifying buying wicked cool guns fully customized. Nobody is targeting the brand new gun buyers who have absolutely no idea what they're looking at, absolutely no idea, who to talk to or anything. If you grew up around guns, you know all these things. You know who to talk to, you know where to go, you know what to buy. If you don't know people with guns, if you didn't grow up around guns, you don't even know where to start. You don't even know where to begin. Most of these people don't, and I know it because I ask people all over the country. We have hundreds of thousands of followers, and I ask people all the time, what made you decide to get your first gun? How long from the time that you decide to get your first gun did you actually buy the first gun? What part of it surprised you along the way? What did you think would be easier? What did you think would be harder? And they tell me, and these people have no idea. The average person thinks there's a 10-day waiting period to buy a gun. They have no idea that they can just walk into our store, buy a gun, and walk out of it. Obviously, presuming that they pass background checks and all that, and it's legal in their state or what have you. But they don't know that. They don't understand that. Nobody is targeting these brand new gun buyers and making it super easy for them. Nobody is speaking their language. Nobody is making it simple. They all want to ask questions that they don't want to ask. They got a parking ticket or a few speeding tickets 20 years ago, and they think it's going to stop them from buying a gun. So they don't want to talk about that because they're embarrassed. We want to make it easy for them to ask those questions that nobody wants to ask. We'll have our staff wearing shirts saying things like, "We've heard it all, just ask." And we're going to specifically target making it super easy for somebody who has no idea how to build or buy an AR to build and buy an AR. And this will have stations all through this mobile workshop. These are all going to be non-functioning displays. no firing pins, they're not real guns. This is going to cut down on the security issue dramatically, because people are far less interested in stealing non-functioning display models than they are actual real guns. So it's also going to get us around an absolute ton of state and local laws that we're not going to have to worry about moving this around if they're all, you know, owner's personal non-functioning displays. So we'll have stations, and it's all just going to be dumbed down, idiot-proofed as much as we can possibly do it. Speaking layman terms that everybody understands. The first station, there's not going to be any more than 5 options for any station, because, well, you know, maybe for paint jobs and that sort of thing, but outside of that, no more than 5 options, because as much as people want to believe they like options, they really don't, especially when it's first-time gun buyers. Now, I'm not saying for the people who are experienced, the people who know what they want, yeah, we can custom order them anything. I'm talking about our displays. Our displays will have no more than 5 options, because we want to keep it simple for them. The first station is going to be pick a shape. Literally, it's going to be pick a shape, and, you know, get a basic layout of what they're going for. The next one's going to be pick a caliber. This one's for hunting birds. This caliber's for hunting deer. This caliber's for hunting people. You know, right on down the line, self-defense, obviously, whatever. Just make it really, really, really simple, and they'll move from station to station to station. Now, again, I'm jumping all over the place here as things come to mind, but we're working on some pretty major deals with some pretty major manufacturers to be sponsors. The reason we're doing that is far less about sponsorships and far more about what's going on right now in the current world with this pandemic and the craziness and the looting and the rioting and, you know, everything that's causing the entire industry to go upside down. That's my concern. I don't really care if they have stickers on our trailer. I don't care about getting sponsorship money from them. What I care about is mattering. I want to matter to these big companies when the time comes to matter. I've been to these manufacturers. I've been in their back rooms. I've been through their files. I've seen hundreds and hundreds of small shops' orders get shoved aside while Cabela's gets filled. I've seen it, because Cabela's is the priority, and let's be honest, why wouldn't they be? They move a ton of product. So when all this stuff calms down and goes back to normal, who do you want to make sure you kept happy? You want to make sure you kept your biggest customers happy during that, so that they're still your customers when you come out of it. Because if you don't keep your biggest customers happy during it, then by the time you come out of it, they may have already found another solution and never come back to you. So you can't blame these manufacturers for doing it. I just want to get on board with it. So if we can lock in deals with some major manufacturers and predominantly only work with one gun manufacturer, predominantly only work with one optics manufacturer, predominantly only work with one, you know, whatever for every accessory along the line, then we, especially with a whole bunch of franchisees out there, we're going to become a very large company ordering very large shipments of guns and accessories and everything else. So when this inevitably happens again, we don't know if we'll ever see it to this extreme again, but we do know we're going to see this again at some point in our lives, probably in 4 years, because to some degree it happens every single election. We want to know that we can actually get the products we need to get. So we're going to be working with sponsorships, so that way, sponsored manufacturers, so that way, instead of ordering a little bit from lots and lots and lots and lots of different companies, we're going to order a whole lot from a few companies. We're going to somewhat be partnered with them and make it where we're a priority to them, they're a priority to us, and we're going to see each other through the hard times like now. So back on track to the stations. So we're going to have stations, pick a shape, pick a caliber, pick an optic. You know, this one is for hunting deer. This one is for getting up quickly on your target at close range for self-defense. And, you know, we'll have scope options, we'll have open and red dot options and all that. But again, we're going to keep it really simple. We're going to have the really high end. We're going to have the lowest end that we're willing to put our brand on, and then we're going to have a few options in between, and then they move on to the next station. Now, how they're choosing this, again, we're trying to make this simple and streamlined, and we're looking at having events like Sturgis and that, where we have to funnel thousands and thousands of people through this very, very, very quickly during an event, is we're going to have 2 options. One is going to be a good old-fashioned pad of paper, a 2-part carbonless, white on top, yellow secondary color, where, you know, copies everything that you're writing, and that's going to be where you just circle A, B, C, D, or E, and, you know, what option you want at each station. And then once the person's done with the old school method and they fill it out, they give it to you or your employee, and then that person punches it in the tablet and places an order. The other option is going to actually be tablets, just your regular old everyday tablets, and then the customer can take that and they can fill their order out on the tablet right online right there. That's going to go back to our home base in Missouri. Once we get that order saying exactly what the customer wants with every accessory they want, we know what paint job they want, we know what Cerakoting or anodizing, what engraving, what case, whatever, then we're going to fill their custom order and then we're going to ship it to their local FFL. These people are on vacation for the most part anyways. They don't want to take a gun home on their motorcycle. They don't want to deal with all the different state laws and everything along the way. They just want to order it, and then we need time to build it anyways. So we'll build it, we'll send it back to their local FFL. Again, we're going to make all this super, super, super simple and make it where we have all this figured out with a lot of different FFLs, and we make it easy for these people to make this transaction and walk them through it. We'll have pre-made things saying this is what you should expect, this is how long your gun should take, this is the information we need from your FFL. Most cases we're going to find out where they want it shipped right then when they're placing the order. We'll have a spot for that on the order form, and then we'll have our team who's good at handling that stuff take care of getting that FFL information. We do an awful lot of shipping of guns every single day, and we've found that customers are not very good at getting the FFL information that they need to get to be able to get their gun transferred. We found it's much easier for us to say, hey, tell you what, go ahead and look up the local shop you want, pull them up on Google or however you want, send us a screenshot of it, we'll get the FFL for you. And then we contact that gun shop, we get their FFL for them, we get it all arranged, and it's just so much faster and easier than the back and forth of dealing with customers trying to set it up. So basically, you're going to either park this thing out in front of your house, or you're going to take it to an event, or you're going to take it to a gun show, or whatever it is, wherever it is you want to sell ARs, basically. And for a relatively small amount in the franchising world and in the gun world, you can get yourself into this business where you have total freedom to be able to travel the country if you want to stay in one spot if you want to do anything you want to at any time, and be able to sell a ton of guns to happy people. And again, I'm jumping all over the place, but I want to tell you what sold me on the gun industry. And I grew up dealing with the outdoor industry my whole life, but not so much really the guns, at least not to this extent until recently. I've been in a lot of different businesses, done a lot of different things. The reason I love the gun industry so much is everybody is in a great mood all the time. All the time. They always are. And I mean, think about it. Why wouldn't they be? Nobody is coming to the gun store or the build an AR workshop, mobile location, trailer, whatever, anything, in a bad mood. Nobody wakes up in a bad mood and says, you know what, I'd like to go to the gun store today. That doesn't happen. If it does happen, well, then it changes their bad mood to a good mood. Everybody's always in a good mood when they're buying guns. I don't care who it is. They're in a good mood. Every once in a great while, you get somebody that, they've got something that broke or, manufacturer's defect or whatever. We're going to stand by it. We're going to take care of them. So even if they come in upset briefly, we're going to make them happy. We're going to get them taken care of, and boom, they're right back into a great mood again. They got a cool new gun. They love it, and they're going to go shoot it, and it's a great time. It's just a fun industry. It's a happy industry. I've been to trade shows for every kind of industry you can imagine, and they suck. They're miserable. They're terrible. Nobody wants to be there. Everybody's arguing about stuff. You go to a gun show, like the SHOT Show, you can't find anybody that's not smiling. I mean, it's just a cool industry. So it's a lot of fun. So as far as the pricing, what it's going to cost, my goal, and we really don't know yet. We're still trying to figure out what's going to make the best deal from the best scenarios. We're going to have lots of options, but for the most common one, I'm trying to get it down below $250,000. I know for a fact it's going to be more than $150,000. That without question, it's going to be more than $150,000. I'm doing my very best to keep that under $250,000 because that's a much more approachable number for a lot of potential franchisees. But with that is going to be everything. Everything. It will be 100% turnkey, where all you need to do is walk up to it, get in it, and start selling. That's it. It's all going to be laid out. All the displays will be done. We're going to figure out the very best, simplest way to do everything, and we're going to duplicate it over and over and over and over again. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're really looking forward to it. I enjoy the outdoor store. I love the archery and the trapping and the fishing and everything, but the most fun part is always the ARs. The fun is building cool guns and gun packages and stuff. stuff and seeing people's eyes light up and watching them get their first gun and all that, that's going to be a cool thing to experience. So if you're interested in a franchising opportunity, whether it's an outdoor store, we can make that happen for you with the Mountainside brand. If you want to do a build an AR workshop, let us know. We'll keep you in the loop on that. Right now we're at a stage where we're just gathering information. We're gathering people's contact information. And then every time there's an update, like, hey, listen, we got these containers locked in. This is the price that we got figured out. This is the modifications we're doing. This is what it's going to be. Everybody, we've got contact information for a franchising opportunity. We'll all get that email sent out to them, keeping them updated with everything that's going on. When it's all going to be done, I don't know. We're not rushing it. We're getting it done right. It's people have been blowing us up about our webpage. And when's the webpage going to be done? When's it going to be done? When are we going to be able to shop online? And I get that people want it fast, but our brand matters to us. Our name, our reputation matters to us, and doing it right matters to us. So we're going to take the time to do it right. That's what we've been doing with the website, which we are getting very, very close on now. Now, to clear up any confusion with people, we do have a website that's listed on there. Actually, see it on the back of the truck there, MountainsideOutfitters.com. But for years and years, that's always just been pretty much an informational site. You can't buy anything on that site. What we're doing with the new site, which will still be the same address, it'll also switch over. What we're doing with the new site is making an e-commerce business where instead of having to call us up or message us on Facebook, you can go right online and buy things right through the website link like you would a normal website. Why that's taking so long is because, again, we're streamlining it, we're making it simple, we're tying it into all of our distributors that we can, and setting up drop shipping. So when you go to our website to place an order, it's going to communicate with our wholesale distributors, place your order with them, drop ship straight to you, cut a whole lot of middleman time and handling out of the equation. Not only do you get your product faster, it allows us to get you that product for a lot less money than we'd otherwise be able to do. That's why our website's taking so long, because we're taking the time to build it right. It is beautiful and it's cool, and it's going to have all the options to be able to sort it as far as what's in stock at the warehouses, what's in stock at the manufacturers, what's in stock at the Sistersville, West Virginia location, what's in stock at the ROGERSVILLE, Missouri location, what's in stock at the South Dakota or Wyoming locations. So that's where we're going with that. We're taking our time to do it right. It's the same thing with the Build an AR workshop. Besides the fact that we've got some very successful businesses that are growing very fast, and we're struggling to hire people fast enough to keep up with that growth, and that has us plenty busy. On top of that, we're doing this Build an AR workshop, which I really believe is the future of our company. It's going to just do phenomenal, but we're going to do it right. We're not going to just rush into it and throw a bunch of junk together. And people keep asking us, what's going to stop somebody else from copying you? The fact that we do things right, that's what's going to stop people from copying us. The fact that we've already been working on this for a couple of years now to get it right. Somebody else will copy us, sure, they absolutely will. They're just not going to copy it right. People copy our other packages, our guitar cases, and all that kind of stuff. But then the customer sees it and they realize that not all are created equal, and we're not the same as them. That's going to be the case with Build an AR workshop. Will somebody else see our success and open up a trailer and try to sell ARs out of it? Sure, yeah, that's going to happen, and they probably will sell some ARs. But we're not going to have it, they're not going to have it simple like us. They're not going to have the freedom of their lifestyle like us. They're not going to be able to pick and choose exactly what parts that they want to do like us. When you franchise a Build an AR workshop, you get to choose how much level of freedom you want. If you want to fill those orders yourself, fill those orders yourself. If you want to send those off to the main warehouse and have them filled there, you have them filled there, and you just focus on the selling and the traveling and all the stuff that you find fun, the things that you find entertaining. We're going to give you those options. We're going to give you those freedoms. So can somebody copy McDonald's? I mean, a lot of people have tried, but McDonald's has the best system. They're not the best at making hamburgers. There's a lot of people that make better hamburgers. I know a couple people on my own road that make a better hamburger than McDonald's. It's not about how good of a hamburger they make. It's about the system they put in place. They've got a great system in place where somebody with no experience whatsoever can walk into a McDonald's franchise situation and make that work. That's what we're doing. We're making a really duplicatable, easy system to be able to franchise out and to be able to build ARs. So that's pretty much the gist of it. We're going to keep you updated as we go along, let you know what we're working on, let you know the progress we're making. But we are absolutely running at this full steam ahead. As you can see on the back door of my truck there, we've already got the logos made up. We've already got stickers made. Some of you are saying, I want a sticker. Yeah, we're going to send you stickers. We're getting patches made. We're going to have those available for you too. We got a really cool logo design for it. We've already got the trademark registration started for that. We've taken a whole lot of steps. A whole lot's been going on behind the scenes that not everybody's been seeing or understanding, especially working with the different manufacturers and the sponsorships for that and the layout and the design. So we've made a whole lot of progress. We're going in great stride, and we'll keep you updated. So thanks for following. Everybody have a great day.